Hello everybody, welcome to HSA 1102, Introduction to Healthcare. For those of you who are new to Kaiser University, welcome. And for those of you who have taken courses in the past and you're seasoned veterans now, welcome to the class as well. You might be able to help your fellow students who are just joining us. All right, so each week what I do is I send out a review of the assignments for the week, and I talk about some of the pitfalls that students fall into and some of the things you need to look out for while completing the assignments. So for week one, by now or by the third day of the week, so by Tuesday, you should have your certification completed, you should have your pretest completed, and you should have your introduction completed. And you will find that all in Getting Started. I'll click on that so you can see it. You have your, and if you haven't ordered your textbook, make sure that you do order your textbook now so that you can get it. You will not be able to pass this class without it. Many of the exercises come from the information in the textbook, and at minimum, when you're answering your discussion questions in your paper, you'll need to take information from the textbook and cite it. So you will need the textbook. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Here's your certification right here. You would click on that. Click on True. That tells me that you are going to do your own work. You're not going to allow anybody else to do it, and that you're not going to use anybody else's work. The pretest is an exam, a 15-minute exam with 20 multiple choice questions, and it's, don't worry about not doing well on it if you don't do well, because it just gives me an idea of where the baseline is with your knowledge so that I can tweak the class to address the issues needed to be addressed. Your introduction allows you to break the ice with your fellow students and with me so that you can introduce yourself. You guys will be spending a lot of time discussing issues in this course and future courses, so it behooves you to get to know each other. Then let's go ahead and talk about week one. All right, so week one, your reading is chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 goes over your career in healthcare, and chapter 2 is covering current healthcare systems and trends. Now this course does not get very in-depth. It gives you an idea of what healthcare is about. For those of you who have not worked in healthcare, this will introduce you to it. For those of you who have worked in healthcare, this may be a review. However, I've had students tell me in the past that they have learned something new. So don't get complacent about your knowledge. All right, so first thing, you have a weekly discussion. All right, so the first post should be posted by Thursday so that you can meet the minimum number of days to post. You're required to post 4 separate posts on 3 separate days. And if you do that, you've met the requirement. You did not exceed the requirement, you've met it. So you get a grade of good. The total points there are 19. If you would like to go above and beyond the required number of posts, then you can, earn up total points of 25. But just meeting the requirement does not get you above and beyond. So if you want the full points possible, you need to post 5 or more. If you want a grade of good and meet the requirement, 4 posts on 3 separate days. Posting less than that is going to hurt you in each section of the grading rubric. Excuse me. Which is probably a good time to go over that rubric right now with you, so you know what you're being graded on. Okay, so this is the grading rubric that I use on everybody to grade fairly, and everybody's graded on the same criteria. So the quality of posts, I'm looking to see that you're thoughtful, reflective, and respectful with each other. If you are not respectful with each other, I will speak to you individually. But so far I have not had a problem with that. Your post, when you answer the question, should be at least 150 words or more. To your fellow students and to myself, your post should be at least 100 words or more. So don't just say, yeah, I agree with you, because that's going to take off points in this section. It also is not furthering the discussion in any way. So make sure that what you're saying has some substance to it and that it is furthering the discussion. The next area is relevance to the topic. Was there clear reference to the topic? Did you answer the questions as they were asked, or did you go off on a different area? And so these are the point. So some reference taken, some reference was provided, but taken out of context, the reader would not understand. This would be 15 to 19. Posting does not clearly reflect the assignment at all, 0 to 14. Then the contribution to discussion. Here I'm looking at, did you meet the requirement of 4 separate posts on 3 separate days? That's where this would come in. You participated but does not post anything that encourages others to respond, participates with the required number of postings. Then the 20 to 25 points, you'll see that furthers the discussion with questions or statements that encourage others to respond, and you are able to ask questions of your fellow students. And if you don't disagree, you're allowed to disagree. Just do it disrespectfully. Then, as you can see here, it says participates beyond the required number of postings. Next is spelling and grammar. I do grade heavily on spelling and grammar because we are at the collegiate level, and you are documenting a legal document when you enter information into a person's medical record. And a misspelling can result in a misdiagnosis. It can be a bad treatment plan, and God forbid, even death. And so we don't want to see that. APA is using when you utilize somebody else's information to make your point, such as the information on the textbook. You need to have that cited as per APA guidelines and a corresponding reference down below. So what the citation does is it gives the authors credit for the information that they've done the research on and written on, and it also tells me, the reader, that you've utilized their information to make your point, and that if I wanted more information on that, I could take that citation, find the corresponding reference down below, look that up, and find out more information on that. Okay, so that's the grading rubric that I will be using for the discussions. Now, back to week 1. And then the second response is, first response. You're going to talk about thinking like a professional. In your own words, what does it mean? And when they say in your own words, they mean based on your own writing, or based on your reading for the week. What does thinking like a professional mean? But put it into your own words. Do not regurgitate what is in the book. Number 1, it's plagiarism. But number 2, I want to hear in your words what you got from the reading. List several examples. Now, there are examples listed in the book which you can use and should use from the paragraph that's titled Thinking Like a Healthcare Professional. Every time we do this exercise, I get a lot of acting like a healthcare professional, and how people try to be professional but not think like a healthcare professional. So read that that paragraph that says thinking like a healthcare professional in chapter 1, and you'll have all your answers for this. And then while maintaining privacy, feel free to share an unprofessional experience in a healthcare arena or otherwise if you don't have one in the healthcare arena, but I prefer it to be in the healthcare arena if you do. Response 2 is table 2-1, page 39 through 45, history of healthcare. After reviewing the historical events of healthcare, which 3 events do you feel were most significant to healthcare in today's society? So 3 events for healthcare. and then you're going to do at least one, but you can do more events that were beneficial to the patient. So not healthcare overall, but what event do you think was really beneficial to the patient and why? And then what are some of the healthcare trends and challenges that they talk about in the book or that you see? And then you have 2 responses, to your fellow student or myself, or more if you like. All right, so then the week 1 assignment, this is not due, the final draft is not due until week 2. However, you need to start working on this assignment right away so that you can get your rough draft completed by the end of this week and submitted to the online writing lab for review. They'll you'll receive a confirmation email when you submit that. Once they've reviewed your work, they'll send you an email back with the submission form that you're supposed to fill out, as well as the rough draft with their recommendations. When you get that, forward that email to me so that I have it for grading, and then you need to review the recommendations that the OWL made to incorporate them into your final draft so that when you submit it in week 2, I can see all of that. All right, so the assignment is that problem solving and decision making are important in the healthcare arena as well as in your own daily life. So the 5-step problem solving process can be found in your text on pages 32 through 34. What I want you to do is go through the 5 steps, identify your personal problem, gather information on that problem, and that's where people fall down in this point, is they need to gather the information necessary. So if you're diagnosed with cancer, you will know everything about that cancer. You're going to gather as much information as you can through books, through online, through social groups, whatever it might be. Then you're going to create a list of alternatives based off the information that you gathered. Even if they sound wacky, write them down. Then you can weed those out. Then you're going to choose an alternative and take action. Then you want to evaluate and revise. How are you going to measure the success of the choice of the alternative that you've taken? And if it didn't work, how are you going to revise it or replace it? And this should be written with a title page, no abstract needed, the body of your paper with citations, and then a separate page with reference. So your title page is separate. Your reference page is separate from the body of the paper. If you have any questions, please let me know. Then you have a week 1 quiz that you can take, that you need to take, not can take, need to take over chapters 1 and 2, 15 questions, and you have 2 hours to complete it. The extra credit, if you attend the Kaiser Live and you participate, you'll get 0.5 points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that adds up to 2 over the term. If you're tutoring on a B or an A, it can mean an A. C or a B, it can mean a B. If you can't attend the live session, you can do a summary, but you need to provide specific examples that I talked about during the lecture so that, and then submit it right through here in extra credit. Save it to a Word document, upload it, and submit it right through here, and then you will receive your extra credit as long as you provided the specific examples. So those are some of the things to look out for week 1. If you have any questions, please contact me either by email or phone. Email is usually best because I check that throughout the day and at home. All right, you guys have a great term. I look forward to getting to know all of you, and have a good week.